We play for keeps, Cuddy. You ain't heard about the huddle fire with no with D-Lane. We tryna get it off the muscle. Walters caught the pick and ran it back without a tussle. Blow the whistle, coach is trying to get back to the huddle.
Welcome to the 510 Huddle podcast. It's your boy, Coach D Lane in the building. Got my brother, like always, Keaton. How you doing today, brother?
What's good, brother? Good.
Man, got a lot to talk about, man. NFL season is finally here. Football season is finally here. You know, that full weekend like we left Friday
Yes.
Night Lights with the high school Young Bulls. We got a little good twist today for y'all. We'll talk a little high school today. We got a player and coach of the week that we're gonna give out later in the show. Um, College football Saturdays, we just had that. We'll touch a little bit on that as well. And NFL Sundays, man. We'll touch on the Thursday night football game coming up here. Buffalo versus the Rams, LA Rams. So we'll touch on that as well. Full show. But let's open up with this, brother. We've done rankings. I know we made a few picks here and there, but I don't believe we done awards yet, right? Season awards.
No.
So we're gonna start there, all right? And let's start with the
All
main
right.
MVP. We know for the most part it's a quarterback award, but who you got for your MVP for this NFL season?
Well, it's a cop out, but I definitely believe in this. Patrick Mahomes, honestly, I think he's going to be on a straight mission this year. The way he opened up his career, I think he's going to light it up more. With all of that talk about Tyreek Hill and all of this new talk about Josh Allen and Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert, he's a guy that's just quiet with his chip on his shoulder. He's one of those guys that likes to kind of rub it in, but he does it in a subtle way that's still fun. And I feel like this year he's like, all right, I'm sick and tired of it. And people are actually questioning whether like he is the best quarterback in football. I think this is going to be his year where he really silences people and he leaves zero doubt that he is the best quarterback in football, but also the best player in all of football. Um, I know he was not happy about being ranked eighth on that players list. Again, I know players like it's all fun, games, and love, and like they'll all say like the PC stuff, but I know it pisses him off that he was ranked eighth. He's gonna light it up this year. He's gonna really light it up this year.
Yeah, I like that pick. I've heard a few people pick Patrick Mahomes, share some of the same sentiments that you just said as far as just him being on a mission. I will agree as far as I believe this will be his most efficient passing season this year, just because I believe he will spread the ball around equally to all his weapons. I'm gonna go with a pretty popular pick right now, but I also got another pick. I'm gonna go with Herbert. I believe everything is set up for him this year to have a dominant season. That got him some help
Yeah,
on
for sure.
defense as well. But I'm going with Lamar, man. Especially if Lamar doesn't get a contract done week one. How you feel about those two, brother?
Herbert, I definitely see because he is the golden boy at this moment. Him, Burrow, and Allen are, I think, are the three golden boys right now. It's crazy because it's almost like people have the fatigue of Mahomes and Lamar already, which is crazy to me. Lamar, I do think he'll put up MVP or okay, maybe not numbers, but he'll have MVP level impact. I just think that the AFC is so loaded statistically. He's gonna have to really probably even break like his own records to really get votes. So I think he'll have MVP impact, but award voting for Lamar, I don't see that. Um, but could it happen? Yeah, because he's obviously he's one of the top 10 players in the league. So I could definitely see that for sure.
Yeah, like I said, I just believe he'll be on FU mode towards the NFL and the Ravens. You know, I'm really all in on that pick, especially if he doesn't get a contract before
Yeah, for
the
sure.
start of the season. But yeah, I like the Lamar pick. Let's move on. Defensive Player of the Year. I got Khalil Mack That's my sleeper pick, right, brother? I believe Khalil's gonna have a bounce back year this year. On the opposite side of Bosa, I'm looking at that division. I believe it's going to be the highest scoring division. A lot of drop back quarterbacks in that division, crazy passing attacks in that division. I just see Khalil having a nice bounce back year on the opposite side of Bosa. And my other two picks was Parsons. I'm questionable on Dan Quinn and how they utilize him. I still last year I believe he had a good rookie year, but I don't believe they used them in the best way that they could. So I'm interested to see how that will be this year. And then Nick Bosa, that's another pick for me. I believe Nick Bosa will have a pretty dominant year.
Well, out of the three names right there, I would take Bosa for sure. But my guy is Myles Garrett. Um, I think Myles Garrett is the best pass rusher in football. I know T.J. Watt won it last year, but I thought overall I thought that Micah Parsons and like Myles Garrett actually had better years than him. I thought TJ's pre-production really came in probably like 4 to 5 games really, whereas those guys were like dominant like throughout the entire season. For me, it's Myles Garrett. I just think the Browns are gonna win a few more games than what people think, and he's gonna be at the forefront of that. And there's not a lot that you can say because he's just a freak of nature, dude. I love his game, and I think especially in this first game, as much as people are rooting for Baker, I think Myles Garrett's going to shut that down quickly.
Yeah. I love Miles too, man. Miles been one of my favorite players since he came into the league. Just a freak athlete. Yeah, so I'm not mad at that pick at all. And sorry for our viewers that's watching. I'm on daddy duties today, so little Ace just woke up on us, so that's when we'll be moving back and forth. But let's move on, brother. Rookie of the year. Who you got for your rookie of the year?
Okay, so for offensive rookie of the year, it's really tough because I don't know if Kenny Pickett's going to play much, if at all. Um, so I tried to go through offensive weapons, and that's just so tough. I wanted to say Brees Hall, but so I'm going to go with the receiver. I wanted to say Sky Moore, but I don't think he'll have the overall production to really warrant it. So I'm going to go with Garrett Wilson. I think he's in a position with Zach Wilson to really have a good year. I don't think like it won't be what Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson did, but I think he'll have a good enough year and he'll be the number one option, or at least close to it, to where I think he can get that kind of votes. And I think the Jets might win a game or two more than what people think also.
I like that pick. I'm not mad. I got Brees Hall as well. I believe with is it Mike LaFleur? It's
Yeah.
LaFleur's full brother. Yeah, he's the OC over there for the Jets, but he comes under that same tree, run the ball, play action game. Um, so I believe Brees Hall has a chance. Another pick I also believe in, if he starts 14 or more games, is Kenny Pickett, just because everything is set up for him as well as a rookie quarterback for him to succeed. Got weapons, got a tight end, got a running back. O line just got to protect you. He can make some plays happen if he gets enough games under his belt. So those are my two picks. Coach
I
of the
also
year.
have one. I also have one sleeper pick for that.
Go ahead.
Cook. I have Cook, who is in Buffalo. I don't know if he'll have like enough production because he'll be splitting time, but I do think he'll have enough splash plays because they're gonna really use him well in the short passing game and in the screen game, and he'll just have nothing but open space to run. Um, so he's my kind of sleeper pick for that.
Yeah,
Um,
I got him taking that. I actually drafted him. We'll talk about our fantasy drafts later, but I got him being RB1 for the Bills by the end of the season.
I mean, he should be, but you never know.
He went to Florida State too, brother, or was it Georgia?
No, he went to Georgia.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, coach of the year. Who you got for your coach of the year? Chill out.
I got Andy Reid, man.
Ooh, Big Red.
I think the Chiefs are going to light up the NFL. I won't predict 17-0, but I could see them going 15-2 to 16-1. I think they're going to light up the NFL. And they got better this offseason. They got a lot better. And it's going to be hard for anybody to really deny, especially if they're trending towards 17-0. I just think that he's going to win it. And that's what I'll say.
Ooh, Big Red. I could never be mad at that.
100%.
You know, that's my Eagles old coach, so always got love for Big Red. I wanted to go McDaniels. I'm not sure if he's going to win enough games in that tough division. I'm going Kyle Shanahan, man. Roster setup, better probably than ever before. I recently watched the Super Bowl with them and the Chiefs skating, like the other night. I got missed the second half, but I was watching that first half, man. I know I remember coming away from that game questioning Shanahan a lot from a scheme perspective, as far at least attack wise, how he was attacking the Niners.
Yeah.
Maybe it was more so from the second half, so I need to watch how the game unfolded. But from that first half, bro, scheme wise, he was dialing it up early. Like the Niners had whatever they wanted, man. They could really run the ball. They was running it down the Chiefs' neck. One thing I took away from that first half performance that I was watching, and we all kind of know this already with Kyle being an elite play caller, right? He's a
Yeah.
master. He's a master at winning numbers to one side of the ball. Whatever side he wants to run the ball on, 9 times out of 10, they got the numbers. They're winning on that side of the ball, meaning, from the center over, you got your guard, your tackle, and it could be a wing, a tight end, or an extra back, whatever is to that one side, to the left or right of the tight end, the center, excuse me, of the center. Usually they have more numbers on that side of the ball than the defense, and Kyle is a master at that, man. So I just wanted to tip my hat to him, and I got him being my coach of the year.
In my lifetime, I think he really is the greatest at scheming up the run. And I don't think that it's close. And
Yeah.
I do think he'll have to be coach of the year. I think the 49ers have one of the two best rosters in all of the NFL. But like I was telling you earlier this week, Trey Lance is such a wild card. I do think he'll have to be coach of the year for them to reach what they think that they can or should reach.
Yeah, Trey is definitely a wild card. Your offensive player of the year. Who you got for offensive player of the year?
I mean, that's just the best skill guy. So I'm gonna go with. I wanted to say Jamar Chase, but I'm gonna go with his ex teammate and Justin Jefferson. Um, he's gonna be utilized like Cooper Cup was, and he can be moved everywhere. And I just think he's gonna be fed. Like his junior year at LSU, he played in the slot pretty much exclusively, and he said it was because he wanted to get fed. So he's going to play that Cooper Cup role, and he's even a slightly better route runner than a Cup is. So I think this could really be a year for him to like explode into like not just like top five talks, because I think a lot of people kind of have him in that range, like top one talks. I think he can have that type of year.
Yeah, I think I spoke on Jefferson before. I definitely got him stepping into superstardom this season. I believe I took him first round. He's my first round pick in two of the three drafts that I'm in for the fantasy leagues. Yeah, so no argument there. I'll just throw one other curveball. Herbert again, just because he has the opportunity, the volume of passes definitely will be there, and being in that division, man. Like I said, I believe that division will get the most points. So those are my two picks. Defensive rookie of the year, brother. Who you got? This one was kind of tough for me.
I really didn't want to make this an entire like Chiefs like award system, but I got Carl Loftus. Uh, he what he showed in this preseason, whatever concerns people had about him coming out in terms of his play speed, and can his power translate? I think he answered those questions enough, and he's going to have the opportunities, and like his team is going to be winning, and they're going to have a lot of leads. I think he'll have enough production, and he's always going to be on TV. He's always going to be in that spotlight. With all of that combined, I think he's in a great position to win it, and especially since he doesn't have to be like the guy. I mean, you have Chris Jones there, and Frank Clark. He looks better, so he's never going to see double teams. It's just going to be one on one. So I think he has a great chance for that.
Got you. Um, I got Aiden Hutchinson. That was my top pick, right? The DN for the Lions. I got two other picks, like always. I always got some a sleeper pick or two. I like Jordan Davis for my Eagles. I'm just not sure if he'll play enough snaps. Dude is a
Ooh,
freak, man. He's a freak. Yeah, I'm not sure if he'll get enough snaps in. And I also like Kyle Hamilton. He's in that 5 DB system for the Ravens. I believe he'll have impact right away. All right, man. So where we leave off at, brother? We was talking about so preseason we already made our picks, but we were talking about playoff picks, Final Four, and our Super Bowl pick, right? We're gonna have another
yes, sir.
podcast. Yep, we'll have another podcast before the playoffs start. The picks may change, you know that. But this is what we got for you right now. Let's start off in the AFC for you, brother, and then we'll go back and forth. I'll do AFC, and then we'll both jump to the NFC.
Okay, cool. The AFC for me is pretty simple. I got Kansas City and I got the Buffalo Bills. I know the AFC West is stacked, and people have Chiefs and slash Mahomes fatigue, but until somebody can take them down, I'm not betting against them. And the same thing with the Bills. I think the Bills, they're on the doorstep, and I just believe that those two teams are on a collision course at this point.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I got the same one of the same picks with the Bills. I love the Bills again this year. I got them being in the Final Four. I love the Chiefs. I'm not knocking the Chiefs pick. I definitely believe Pat Mahomes will have his most efficient passing season this year, just because I believe he'll spread it out to his different weapons, spread the ball around a little bit more. So I think he'll definitely have an efficient season. I'm just not sure if that back end and that defense can hold up for them to get to the Final Four again. We'll see. But yeah, so I got the Bills and I got the Ravens. I told you all preseason, I'm very big on the Ravens. I'm very big on Lamar Jackson, especially if he doesn't get a contract done before week 1 or before the season starts. And it's looking like that right now. I just got Lamar going into MVP type mode. I think he can finish in top 3, top 5 for MVP voting as well. The defense is stacked. They can keep 5 DBs on the field at all times if they want. Still got Calais Campbell up front with the D line. I really like the Ravens, brother.
I mean, I don't fault you. The only thing that I'll say is I want to see how some of those guys come back this year. A lot of their key guys are coming off of major injury. Um, a lot of ACLs, a lot of Achilles injuries, especially when you're playing corner, running back, and also linebacker. And Ronnie Stanley also, who's one of the 2 or 3 best left tackles in all of football. I mean, that's a lot of stop, start, and lateral movement. And I just have to see them play. If they get back to what they were, then all bets are off. But I just want to see it first, honestly.
I got you. Let's bump on over to the NFC. Who you got for the NFC, brother?
So the NFC was tougher just because there's no standout teams in my opinion. So I just went with the best rosters. So I have Philly because they have a pretty weak division, at least on paper. Um, Honestly, I think they could get the number 1 seed. They have a very favorable schedule. And I would say in 80+% of the games that they play this year, they'll have the better roster. So that's why I went with Philly because I think they can get the number one seed. And I think in that conference specifically, seeding really matters. And then this was a tough one. I went back and forth between a few teams, but ultimately I went with the best roster, and that's the San Francisco 49ers. I know Trey Lance is a huge unknown. I mean, I told you earlier this week, I think they brought back Jimmy G for a reason. I know they're trying to dress it up in a few different ways, but they're worried about Trey. And the only thing that I will say with that is the reason I am picking them is because they still have Jimmy. So if Trey hits, fantastic. If he doesn't, they still have something there that they know and that they believe that they can win with. And ultimately, no matter if they win the division or not, I like they are one of probably like 3 or 4 teams that can win on the road or at home. So like it doesn't really matter. So those are my 2 teams coming out of the NFC.
Got you. Quick sidebar. Richard Sherman finally dropped his podcast. He's on the Volume with Colin
Yeah,
Kaepernick. I listened to episode 1. I think he just dropped today, and I believe he had George Kittle on there, and they were
he did.
talking about Trey Lance and Jimmy G. I didn't get a chance to listen yet, but I'm gonna check that out too. Let me see. Um, have you heard that one yet? No.
I started it. George is the ultimate teammate, and I'll leave it there.
Got you. Yeah, I'm not mad at your NFC picks, man. I actually love both of them. Very well can see both teams make it. I just didn't want to be a homer. I believe my team definitely has as good of a chance as anybody else in the NFL this year, just because the roster is loaded on both sides of the ball, damn near every unit. It's really Hurts or bust, man. It's really all on Jalen Hurts. So I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at the Niners pick neither. Like I said, man, same thoughts as you with Trey Lance. We just, he's a big unknown. We need to see. I just need to see it, and I don't believe a rookie quarterback can take you to the Super Bowl, man. We've seen it here and there, not many times. I think Russ was the last one, right?
Yeah, he's the last true rookie to
Got
be starting in the Super Bowl.
And like I said before, man, like Pat essentially is just like Trey, played a little bit rookie year, but this is, their real rookie year. Pat Mahomes didn't even go to the Super Bowl, man. Was an off D Ford offsides from going to the Super Bowl, and he put together a historic season that year, threw 50 touchdowns, and got his team to the championship game, but he didn't even get to the Super Bowl. And I just don't see Trey having that type of performance. Not saying that
No,
he even needs to, because he doesn't need to, because this roster may be a little more loaded than that Chiefs roster, but you still need that guy that can pull the trigger during the playoff games, and I can't see that with Trey, just not yet. But
no.
saying all that to say, my NFC picks, I went with the Saints and the Rams. I'm really big on the Saints, man. I love their defense. Them and the Ravens are 2 of the top 5 defenses I'm really interested to watch this year. I believe they got top 5 potential. I love the back end with Honey Badger, Marcus Lattimore, and the crew. They did just trade CGJ to my Eagles. We're gonna have to talk about that another time. Um, Again, like we said earlier, man, my guy Howie and my Eagles, we're going all in. So I love that trade. But I still like the Saints, man. I'm really big on Jameis this year. I believe I got Jameis as my QB2 in all my drafts in all my fantasy leagues, just because I could see him and Mike Thomas having a real bounce back year, man. You gotta remember, um, Jameis was at his best when his accuracy can come and go. So he's best with a big body target type of guy. Um, Mike Evans, Kelvin Benjamin in college at FSU. I see Mike Thomas being that same type of receiver, and I see him having a bounce back year. You got Landry, you got Olave, you got Kamara out the backfield. I see Jameis having a pretty big year, man. And then I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go with the Rams just because I want, like I said, I want to pick the Niners, but I'm going with better quarterback, and more experienced, savvy quarterback play, and Matthew Stafford, and Sean McVay.
I wanted to pick the Rams because I do think at some point Odell is also going to sign. So just for a personal reason, I really want the Rams, but I do think this might be the year where their top heavy roster and their F them picks thing is going to catch up with them a little bit. Um, they have a lot of names, but aside, oh, even Aaron Donald, but they are aging. So I'm just going to be interested to see how they hold up because they cannot afford one injury to any of their top, it's probably 6, 7 guys. And also, some of their young guys, I also have to see it, man. I mean, they lost some pretty key guys that weren't names, but they lost a few key guys from a past a year's team. So they're going to be a very interesting team. I mean, if they went 13-4, it wouldn't shock me. But if they went 10-7, that wouldn't shock me either. So they're going to be a very interesting team.
Got you. Super Bowl pick, brother. Who you got? I got Bills. I wanna go Saints. Damn near can see my Eagles there. Being a homer. But I'm gonna go with the Rams to get back. But I got the Bills winning it all for right now.
I mean, I got Kansas City. Um, until the Bills show me that they can beat them when it matters most, I'm taking Kansas City. In Kansas City's roster, this might be the best overall roster that they've had since Patrick Mahomes has been a starter. And I'll get into that a little bit later. But from the NFC, man, I damn near flipped a coin, but I wanted to go with the Eagles. I truly did. I tried to talk myself into it,
Nah, I think you
but
just
but
me up right now, man.
but at the end of the no, seriously, but at the end of the day, despite the 49ers quarterback quandary, I guess you could say, I'll take Kyle to scheme it up enough in that game and to where he can limit the quarterback involvement to where I think the Niners can actually control the game. Um,
Hold
the
on.
Niners and like the Niners defense this year, I think it's going to be even better because this is going to be the first time since Kyle's been there, since they had a secondary that is versatile and that can play man. Um, so I
Ooh.
think with
I would
all of
love
that,
NFC matchup. I would love that NFC championship matchup. I would
yeah.
love
So with
because
all that being said,
their roster setups as far as neither team has that elite quarterback, but
yeah.
everything else is there, man. It's there. Um, yeah. I would love that. Let's move on, man. Let's talk a little college ball. Try to rip through these names because we got a few. Um, Keaton put together a list of 5 draft eligible players, top 5 draft eligible that can come out right now. And then he put out 5. And then he also gave me 5, or was it 3? 5 draft
Uh,
sleeper picks for the draft. Let's start with sleepers. Let's start with the sleepers.
all
Um,
right.
Eric Armstead, excuse me, excuse me, mine in the NFL right now. Excuse me, Eric Gilbert, was at
Yeah.
LSU. Now he's at Georgia. Tight end. I love his size and strength. From what I seen last year at LSU, I didn't watch him play. I know they just beat the brakes off Oregon the other day, but he looks still raw and need a little work with his route running. From what I seen at his LSU time. But how do you feel about Eric Gilbert, brother?
uh, this is a guy that I now wish I did not put on here because he's probably the most Other than Kyle Pitts, he's probably the most talented tight end that you'll see in the last probably 5 to 6 years minimum. He unfortunately for him, he had a lot going on in this off season. Um, he I think got up to 300 pounds at one point, so he finally cut down the weight. He's still freakish. He's still fast, explosive, but I think this year is going to be a year where he kind of sits, unfortunately for him, because Georgia's tight end room is loaded. Um, and he'll still have opportunities this year, but in terms of him just being featured and being like the guy, like how it should be, unfortunately for him, I think he'll have to wait until next year. But his talent is like Kyle Pitts level to where you don't draft a tight end in like the top five, but he's good enough to where you're like he's such a unicorn where like you would take him in the top five. But unfortunately for him, I don't think it'll be in this year's draft. So we can definitely move on from him.
Van Dyke, Tyler Van Dyke. Where is he at now? Is he still? He's not at Florida, right?
No, so he's at Miami.
Got you.
He's
Oh,
so
yeah.
he's a guy that the NFL would want to fall in love with. That's why I put him on here. I
Looks like
like
he throws
him.
yeah, it looks like he throws a pretty solid ball. Quick
Yeah.
release. He looks solid, but it looks like he's missing something. What is it?
Uh, for me, it's a little bit of the mobility factor that what you want now. Um, it's not running because I don't really care about that. It's just being able to move and just move like and basically just move the pocket. I think for him, if he's just solid, he's going in the top 20. I think because he's 6'5", there's not a throw that he can't make, and he's just a guy the NFL is going to fall in love with. So as long as he has a good year, you know me, like I don't care about like the team. Scouts, they have really great tape, so they can really discern whether like it's like the player or like the team. He's a really good player. He wouldn't be my number one guy, but I do think if he has a good year, he's a lock for the top 20. I would be floored if he's I would be floored if he's not a top 20 pick, honestly.
Yeah, I can see him maybe being like a top five quarterback in this class if he has a good season. But when I say top five, like 4 or 5 for me, I don't really see elite like that. Like I see,
No.
yeah. Um, let's move on then. Henry Toa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right. I love
I
this kid.
know this.
He's a stud. He's a stud, man, from Tennessee. Played at Tennessee, and now he's at Bama. Excuse me.
Yeah.
He's at Alabama, and he's also from a Bay kid, right? He went to De La.
I believe so,
Yeah,
actually.
with the Dallas South, so he's also right here in the backyard. I love this kid, man. I love the tape when I was watching him. When you put him on the list, I went to watch him. 6'2", 225, downhill. First step is extremely quick. Always, always brings his hips and his arms into each tackle. He reads it very well. Not
Hmm.
making no wasted movement or false steps. The only question I have is coverage. I wasn't really able to see
Yeah.
what his coverage skills was like from the tape, but yeah, I definitely love the prospect though. He's definitely a good player.
So he's a guy that I guess if you would describe his game, sudden and violent. There's no waste emotion, and when he sees something, he just goes, and he is explosive, and he brings it. Coverage, he's an interesting one because he's athletic enough for coverage. I just think it's more of being polished and understanding different angles that he has to take with like drops, as well as when he's in man covers covering a back or a tight end. But I do think if he shows just a little bit more, I think he's a lock. I get that linebacker's not the sexy pick anymore, but I think he's
He
a
got
very unique player.
yeah, he got top 10. He got lottery top 10 pick written all over him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's explosive. Trigger is there. He pulling that shit for real.
Hmm.
Let's move on. I'm gonna let you talk about this guy because I'm not really the biggest fan.
Hmm.
Your guy Spencer Rattler. Go ahead.
Well, just like Gilbert, after his performance yesterday, I wish I didn't put him on here because the things that plagued him in Oklahoma look like they're still a thing now. But really quick on him, I'm a guy that bets on pure talent. When you watch him throw and when you watch him play, you'll come away every game probably with like two to five throws where like you say, there's not many guys in the NFL that can do that. He's really, really good. Unfortunately for him, his decision making combined with his, I'll go arrogance, because he feels like he can get it anywhere at any time, causes him to make too many mistakes. And I think the reason why I keep putting him on these lists is because forget high school. I saw his first year starting at OU. Like I saw it. It's like it's in him, but I think he's at a point now where he's not a lost cause or anything like that because he's still like a young guy, but he's got to show a lot more, especially after yesterday. So we can definitely move on from him, but I won't go first round sleeper anymore because your arm talent can only take you so far.
Got you. Anthony Richardson, number 5.
No,
I
this is my guy.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
This is my guy. So for
I
full
left the player
disclosure,
comp for him earlier too. Go ahead.
yeah, for full disclosure, I love this is my favorite quarterback in this draft. Like this will be my guy, seriously.
Okay. Okay.
Um, so he's very raw. He has almost no reps in the passing game.
And this is what, year 3 for him in college?
Yeah, I believe so. I think he's a redshirt sophomore.
Yeah.
But the things people loved about Trey Lance should have been held off for this kid. This kid is a natural thrower because when he throws it, it's pretty. He has a tight spiral. It gets there on time and on target. His thing is just getting more reps and understanding just the overall scope of just reading defenses and like feel. But he's one of the most freakish guys that you'll ever see. He had a play yesterday that summed him up perfectly. So it was a 2 point conversion, and it was a roll to the right. Two guys were in his face. He's so strong and so freakishly athletic. He was able to fake spike it while somebody was in his face, get off of and just basically throw him off of him, and he throws a laser. Like this kid is so good. Like the thing people were saying about Trey Lance and like comparing him to Josh Allen, which is very, very far fetched to me because I think there are zero similarities other than they were small school guys. This kid, just with he's like the definition of like what you can mold. And even if he even if he doesn't show that he's an elite passer this year, I think he's so toolsy. NFL teams will just fall in love with this kid. He's so talented. As long as he doesn't show that like he has a penchant to make a lot of mistakes, I think this kid is a lock for the very first round, no matter what. And honestly, if I had to take one guy from this quarterback group, which I think is overrated, honestly, just as like a whole, I would probably take this kid. It'd be close between him and Bryce Young just because Bryce Young is more polished, and I can throw him out there day one, and Bryce Young would be fine.
But this kid's an athlete.
but this kid is just different.
Yeah, he's what, like 6'4", 240, man, and he can run. Yeah, brother, I love the comp, Trey Lance. I seen it as soon as I watched him play. You could tell he's still raw in the pass game, but his motion is a little more natural and fluid than Trey's initially when you watch it on tape. Definitely can run for being that big. Like I say, 6'4", 240. Probably gonna get bigger. Yeah, man, I don't think you told. I remember I had a conversation with you off air. I said, bro, give me a few quarterbacks my team need to be watching out for if Jalen Hurts don't pan out.
This is the kid.
I like this kid though. I definitely like this kid. I also told you I like the Cam Ward kid too for Wise. Oh, yeah. He had a pretty good game yesterday too. I was looking at his stats.
But this is the guy.
Gotcha.
If you want a quarterback, unless you want somebody that can just come in from day one and just be fine, you would probably take Bryce Young. But if you have the patience and you're not in a 49ers type of situation where it's like win now, take this kid. This kid, long as he shows that he's
we're flexible. We're flexible. I think we can take it. We can go either way with it, brother, because we just rebooted really within the last year or two. So we're kind of flexible, real young, still got a couple of vets, but yeah, we can go either way with it. Bryce or Anderson or Richardson if Hurts don't work out. Like I said, we got 2 first-round picks next year, so Hurts.
As long as he shows that he's a smart kid, he's a lot. As long as he shows that he's smart and hard working, he's a lot.
Got you. Let's talk about your real quick with your top 5 draft eligible. I'm gonna
So these aren't necessarily the top 5 players. These are just probably the biggest stars. I would say 3 of the 5 are when it's draft season, they'll be top 5 picks. The other 2, well, Bijan is just because he's a running back, but on talent, he's a top 10 pick. But go on.
I was just gonna say, yeah, you were kind of going down the track. I was gonna say, Will Anderson, he really speaks for himself. We kind of spoke about Bryce Young already and C.J. Stroud. I really wanted to talk about the other 2 guys. So let me start with Bijan since you already went there. Like the kid, definitely like the kid. 6 foot, 215, 220. I love his feet. Very quick and great vision. Not built the same, but he kind of remind me his playing style a little bit of Barkley. Barkley's a little bigger than him. I believe Barkley's also faster than him straight line, but the quickness is there. The vision is there. I like the kid though. I like him. I got to look at some other backs, but right now I have no issue saying he's the best back from what I've seen on tape, but it's not like blow your socks away type deal though. It's not that for me as far as I've seen other running backs on tape coming out of college, but he's good. He's good.
Yeah. So
I wouldn't draft him top. All I'm saying is I wouldn't pull the plug on him like Barkley and Zeke the last couple of years because Barkley was the last top 5 pick, right, for a running back. I wouldn't do that.
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that with him.
He's not that, but I would be shocked if you came away and said that there's a better running back in college football.
Okay.
He's the best running back in the college football, and he has been for the last 2 years. He's really, really good. Whoever takes him between, I would say, 20 and 32, they're going to be happy. Like, if he was on, like, the Chiefs or any of those top AFC teams.
My team. I can say everything pans out well for us, and Jalen does handle business because we kind of small at the running back spot, and I really don't. Miles Sanders is cool, but too inconsistent. We're gonna see this year. I would love this kid. Cut back ability. Yeah, I would love him in the Eagles system. Same with the Niners too, but they use more of a committee approach.
Yeah, it'd be over.
Yeah,
And
it'd
that
be
was
one
just a
of the
pick.
top team. It'd be one of the better teams in the league that would get him
It
because
would be.
yeah, he's more in that 18 to 32 range, like you said, 20 to 32 range. Let's talk about this other kid, brother. Now I understand why Georgia won the
He
national
was the
championship.
best player.
Yeah, and I have been hearing about the kid because everybody's telling me Jordan Davis nice, but the other kid, and they call him,
Yeah.
maybe Jordan Davis. I love this kid. He's a baby Jordan Davis. He's just slimmer and smaller, but more athletic. He's more athletic, man. I couldn't believe it when I was watching him on tape. I'm like, oh, this
Told
kid
you.
is 6'3", 300, but he's more athletic than Jordan, bro, and he's a freak. Like when I was watching him and Jordan next to each other, like that's what I envision Jordan and Fletcher looking like this year. Like I will be scared to run the ball against those two.
Jalen Carter is basically that kid where when you're trying to scout the other guys, you just watch him.
Yeah.
Because he's so big, athletic, and powerful. He really is Jordan Davis, but he can play more snaps.
Yeah.
Um, he's a he's a firm top 5 pick. I don't think that is a discussion. I don't think that is a debate. If there is no positional value, he would be in the running for the first overall pick. It'd be him and Will Anderson. He, I mean, he's going to be a unanimous All American this year, and he's the real deal. I think, I never want to go to Aaron Donald, but you remember how Sue came out in his rookie year and how dominant he was?
Yeah.
I think he'll be like that,
Okay.
just like out the gate.
Top five
He
pick.
100%.
Yeah.
And
I,
and he really should be a top 2 pick, but that whole positional value thing with the quarterbacks and all that. But he should be a top 2 pick, and that's not even like that is not a debate at
yeah.
all.
He's a dog. Any thoughts while we talking college right now? Any thoughts on Oregon getting blown out 49-3? First.
No, Georgia's just better. I feel sorry for Oregon fans because Bo Nix, there's a reason Auburn told him to not come back after being a 3-year starter, and I'll just leave it at that.
And bro, that's all I came away with it. Watching that game, I'm like, man, Oregon, all the kids we've talked about in the transfer portal in the last year and a half, 2 years, that's the best they can come with. Bo Nix,
I,
he was mid pack at Auburn. You didn't see enough tape of him at Auburn?
that was very kind of you to say mid pack. I think he's one of those guys where, for some inexplicable reason, people still go off of his high school rating. Um,
Yeah,
he's a good kid. He's a hardworking kid.
I would have took Van Dyke over him at Miami.
Uh, I would have taken a lot of guys over him, but
Cam,
unfortunately,
man, man, let's move on real quick.
uh,
'Cause I know you just got done watching this game, LSU FSU.
Florida State is going to be very good this year. And like I told you earlier, LSU is back on their same old stuff. Defense with an offense that is iffy. I do like Jaden Daniels. I liked him at Arizona State, but he's not any superstar. But I think they'll win 10 games, and that'll be it. They won't be a threat in the SEC West. Florida State, I do think, can win 9 games this year, which would be great for them considering where they've been. Um, and that's pretty much it. They have a lot of talent on those two teams, but because of certain factors with quarterback play, offensive line, I don't think you'll be able to see it the same way as you will with some other guys. And then one last thing with college, CJ Stroud, and I'm an Ohio State Buckeye fan. He's my favorite person that's ever gone there. He's a great kid, and like I'm not even kidding. He's my favorite human that's played there. I just don't understand the first pick in the draft hype. aside from him being a great kid and being poised and a great leader. Um, that's going to be very interesting. I think he's going to have an interesting draft season because I do think people are going to pick apart his game when it comes to his physical gifts. And I'll leave it there.
Got you. Let's move on, brother. Or last top college topic before we move back to a little football. You got two more picks to make. Your number one Heisman pick, and then your sleeper, your top sleeper that win the Heisman.
Well, I'm gonna be boring.
And before you answer, was it me or did it look like nobody really stood out this weekend? Like I didn't see no wow performances this weekend, really.
I mean, Bryce Young in terms of his passing yards wasn't wow, but I
Five
watched the game.
picks.
He's he's just a dude. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be boring. Like, unless he gets hurt, I don't see anybody beating him out, man.
He looked Mac made it look like this as well, but it's probably just because the talent around him and some to his credit. But besides Mac Jones, he looks the most comfortable out of all the Bama quarterbacks I've seen in a while. Like
Yes,
he looks in complete control.
he is.
Yeah. Okay. Did you have
And then,
a sleeper pick?
oh, um, honestly, that's I guess from what I've seen from the guys from last year to this year, it's hard to have a quote unquote sleeper guy. Um, I guess I would say Caleb Williams only because I think USC is going to lose 2 to 3 games this year, and usually they try to make the Heisman Trophy the best player on like the best team. But I do think in terms of just wow plays and what he means to his team, I think Caleb Williams should and will get more Heisman love than what a lot of fans will actually think. Just like just because USC is going to be an up and down team. Um, I told you this before. I think an overall ability, I think he might be the best quarterback in all of college football.
I
I
got
love
watch
Caleb
it. Yeah,
Williams.
I didn't see it, brother. I gotta watch some more of them. I gotta
I
watch.
think you do.
I'm gonna watch them this year.
This kid's something, and I'll just say
Definitely.
that.
Let's jump back into the NFL lane here a little bit, brother.
Yeah.
Rookies and sophomores, man. Let's go back and forth here. Who's some rookies and sophomores you think will have immediate impact this year? I'll start off with a guy that I have already mentioned on the pod before, but I told you, and I think I drafted him as my tight end too. I really like Isaiah Likely from Coastal Carolina. The Ravens picked him in the fourth round. I can really see him being utilized this year with Mark Andrews. I believe Greg Roman is still their OC. But yeah, I can see a crazy 12 personnel package with him and Mark Andrews, and just having a good rookie season where he can make immediate impact.
I'm sorry that I'm being boring and lame, but I've seen enough from these two guys, and they're going to be on a team that not only needs them, but is going to be in the spotlight and winning. And that's George Karlaftis and Trent McDuffie. They play under the Kansas City Chiefs. McDuffie's going to be their starting corner this year. He's really, really good.
Oregon,
No, he's from Washington.
Washington, McDuffie. Okay,
He's another one of those Washington
got
DBs that you can just put him out there and play man, play zone. He's got a little honey badger in him, actually. He's a versatile player. I don't think he'll play his entire career as like an outside corner. I think he's gonna make his a living by moving everywhere. He's gonna be in the slot, and I do think in some packages he'll move to safety. He's a very versatile player. He's so smart and he's so instinctive. Um, I think he's going to be really, really good. And then George Karlaftis, man. I think he's ready to rush the passer this year. and combine that with being next to Chris Jones, and then Frank Clark. He looks like the old Frank
Where
Clark.
Carl Loftus go, brother?
So he came from Purdue. People questioned a little bit of some of his explosiveness. They questioned whether his power will actually translate. He answered all of those questions. He's really good, and also the fact that he won't get double teams at all this year because of Chris Jones. I think he's going to have 11 sacks this year minimum. I think this kid can be a double-digit sack guy from day one.
That's why you so high. You think these two rookie pieces are gonna make immediate impact on that
I
defense.
do.
That's why you're so high on the Chiefs. Okay, I like it. I got two quick ones right here for you. I like Kenny. I said Kenny Pickett before. I like Kenny Pickett to make immediate impact if he can get 14 games or more. This other guy though is immediate impact if he plays right away or whenever he plays. I like Malik Willis. I believe him and Derrick Henry will be a dynamic force to deal with right away if they start the kid right away or whenever he starts. So what you think about those two?
I love it, but I think you're a year early.
For which one? Both?
No, just for Willis. Tennessee's not going to play him. The only way that he plays is if Ryan Tannehill gets hurt, or if Ryan Tannehill just like literally just loses his mind and forgets how to play football.
Got you. You think Kenny Pickett will get to 14 games or more?
I'll say at least 10, because and it won't be because Trubisky plays bad. I just think that because of how bad that offensive line is, they're just going to struggle, and it won't be because of Trubisky. I think they'll be in every game, but they might have a losing record by the time week 7 comes around. Let's say they're like 3-4 or 2-5. I think that's when you put in Pickett and you just let him grow and just go with it.
Got you. I want us to hold our thoughts. I had this guy on here. Still can believe he can make some immediate impact, but with his team bringing back the backup quarterback, I don't know now. Trey Lance. So let's hold off on him, brother, just because the next time we record, I'm gonna have my guy Crocker on, Eric Crocker. He reports and covers the Niners. We're gonna have him on before the season starts next week, so he can come on and talk about the Niners, and we'll ask him about Trey Lance and the Jimmy G situation. Let's. I got a couple more for you. I'm not sure if you got any more. You got any more rookie sophomores?
Rookies or sophomores.
I like Brees Hall. I think he can make immediate impact for the Jets.
I liked him coming out, but what I saw in the preseason, and like again, it's the preseason, but he didn't run the way that I thought he would. But I like Garrett Wilson a little bit more. And one guy that I know that you would like is Derek Stingley.
Yeah,
Unfortunately
he
for
was
Derek
the Texans,
Stingley, yeah, but he's with the Texans, so he's just gonna be one of those. He's gonna be he's AJ Turturel basically. He's gonna be awesome, but his team and his defense is gonna be awful, and nobody's gonna really know.
Got you. Another guy that I have probably taken the biggest step as a sophomore is Trevor Lawrence. I love Trevor Lawrence. We talked about it before. I love him in Dougie P's system. Very, very quarterback friendly. Big use of the tight end. Um, yeah, I love Trevor Lawrence for this upcoming season.
I definitely agree. I think Trevor's going to have a statistical year where people are going to say that is why he was taken first overall. He's a very gifted guy. I love Trevor. Jacksonville, they look the part, man. Like, I will not pick them for the playoffs, especially because they're in the AFC. But like I've heard many people say, nobody would have picked the Bengals last year. If there's one team for me that nobody saw coming, I think it's Jacksonville. But I guess the
Definitely got.
one guy for me
Go ahead. Go ahead.
would be his teammate, who was the first overall pick this year. Trayvon Walker looks real. And
From
this is
Michigan, right?
why no, he's from Georgia.
Georgia.
So
Okay.
he's the kid from Georgia
Okay.
that nobody thought would be the first pick. Like fans and all that. Like nobody because he didn't have a lot of sack. He didn't have a lot of sack per production. The way
Rest
they used him,
got Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis on your deal. It's hard for all those guys to have high sack numbers.
it is, and they just used him in an interesting way. He basically played and did what he was asked to do, and with all that talent, it was like enough. But when you look at him, he's like like anybody who questioned that pick and who wanted like Aiden Hutchinson, who is the kid from Michigan who is a Lion right now, they need to stop. He's real, and he's going to be a really, really good player for years to come.
Got you. My last three, real quick. Pittman Jr., Michael Pittman Jr. I believe he has a big season this year with Matty Ice, 80 to 90 catches, 12, 1,300 yards, 7, 8 touchdowns. But I think he takes that next step as a receiver. Dobbs. I'm big on Dobbs too, man. Just because I believe at the end of the day, the rookie receiver for the Packers, I believe somebody got to step up. At the end of the day, it's
Yeah,
going
sure.
to be him, Watson, or Lazard. I'm banking on the young bull Dobbs or Lazard. I like Lazard too, but I like Dobbs just getting a piece of the pie from here. And then my last one, this guy's a year three guy actually, brother, but he looked explosive and fast as hell in the preseason and just looked like that juice of energy that the Patriots need on defense. But it was Mac Wilson at linebacker.
I love Mac Wilson. He just needs to get play under control, and he'll be a really good player. But my last few guys, Justin Fields. Unfortunately for him, his team is not good. But I think what people are going to see is he's so talented and good enough to where he can overcome a lot of their deficiencies. That doesn't mean that they'll win, but it'll look good. And the last guy that I'll say it's it's not that sneaky because he's a first round pick, but Kyrie Elam. He's the cornerback out of Florida. He was drafted by the Bills. That's the guy where now with him and Tre'Davious White, because Tre'Davious White to me, he's good in man, but he's better in zone. Kyrie Elam is the type of guy where you could potentially put him on your number one receiver. He's really good, dude. He's big, he's strong, and he can match and mirror. He's got great catch up speed. And I do think because of that added element where they can play more a man, I think if they do beat Kansas City and if they do win it all, I think that's going to be a huge reason why, honestly.
For sure. Any other picks, brother? Or you good?
Uh, I'll just mention Garrett Wilson. He probably won't have the stats just because
Who
the
do you
Jets'
like
offensive
more?
line sucks.
Because I just asked the Jets fan, who you like more out of Elijah Moore or Garrett Wilson? Who has the higher upside?
Uh, this is not my biased Buckeye opinion coming out, but I think it's Garrett Wilson. Um, he is a little bit taller, but that doesn't really matter. I just think Garrett is more dynamic with the ball. His biggest thing at Ohio State was just learning how to really run the route tree, and that's kind of like my thing when it comes to receivers and why I take guys that might be a little bit more like freaky because you can teach route running. Like you can't teach what he has, which is just freakish ability and freakish explosiveness. Um, I think when you watch the games, like you'll come away saying, "Wow," but I don't think statistically he'll have the best year just because of his situation. But he's a really, really good player.
Got you, man. Um, let's do a little fantasy talk, man. Most of the drafts already been done for the most part. Some people still drafting this week, today, right now, tomorrow. Um, I just wanted to ask a few questions, and we could talk about our draft a little bit too, who you like on your roster and whatnot. But let's go with top three sleepers, man. I want to talk about top three sleepers as far as that can break out for either the season or just right away early on. Do you got your three, or you want me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. Well, this guy right here, I feel like more so is the breakout right away because I got his teammate breaking out for this year, but his teammate's hurt right now. May play week one, may not. Rondell Moore, not sure yet. Hollywood Brown may be suspended, or did he get suspended yet? May get
I
suspended.
think
Well,
I
I don't think he
I, I think I missed that one,
But he
honestly.
may, yeah, I don't think he got suspended yet, but he may get suspended. Hopkins is out for 6 games. Ertz may miss game one. I got Isabella, man. I believe Andy Isabella can step in early on in week one, two, three, and have a pretty good immediate impact just because Kyler will be a little short of weapons. Um, how you feel about Andy Isabella?
Wow, you really shocked me. I would not have thought of him whatsoever.
Think all the dominoes that's falling over there. They got a bunch of guys suspended. Ertz is hurt at tight end. No more Edmonds coming out the backfield. Connor
Yeah.
power back. I could see Andy getting off for the first couple of weeks, man.
So that Hollywood Brown thing that you just told me, I must have missed that. So because of that, um, and Rondell Moore is also 5'7". I do like that. I do like that because Kyler has to throw it to somebody. So
Exactly.
I'll definitely say yes. Yes, if that Hollywood Brown thing is true. So
Got you. Palmer, he's another one for me. Joshua Palmer, man, for the Chargers, keeping a sharp eye on this kid. I believe I drafted him late, buried him on my bench in my other draft, not ours. But yeah, Joshua Palmer, man, I like him. He's wide receiver three for the Chargers, which is a top five passing attack. So again, who wouldn't love a wide receiver three in a top five passing attack? So he's a still late round, still sleeper pick. Joshua Palmer.
okay.
Yeah.
I liked him coming out too. So um, I definitely do not disagree. He's
What
a very
college
talented
did he
guy.
go to, brother?
You said what's up?
What college did he go to?
Uh, where did he come out? He went to Tennessee. Yeah, he went to Tennessee.
Got you.
And I liked him in high school because that's where I saw him because
St.
He went
Thomas.
to St. Thomas. Yeah,
Uh,
I
yeah.
love Joshua.
One of my old college teammates coach at St. Thomas right now, man. My guy, my old running back, fake beast mode. My guy OG Gene. OG, he down there. He coaching. I think he coaching the running backs for St. Thomas. He been there for the last couple of seasons. Shout out my guy Gene. My last two, brother, and then we can flip to you. Pierce for the run. For the Texans. Is it
Sure.
Damien? It's Damian
Yeah,
Pierce, right? Yeah,
yeah,
love that kid,
from
man.
Florida.
I'm high on him. I think I got him in both my fantasy drafts as well as one of my RB ones. They got rid of two other guys, Mac, I believe, and somebody else was behind them. They
Yeah.
got rid of both his backups, man. So I'm all in on Damian Pierce getting all this carries down there for Davis Mills and company. Yeah, I'm big on Pierce at running back for the Texans. I think it was Little. Somebody texted me in the group chat during the draft and was like, "What's up with the Texans running back pick, Lane?" I was like, "Yeah, you must not know. You must
No,
not know."
he is a ball of muscle and he'll be difficult to tackle. Only thing is, he plays for the Texans that have an interesting offensive line, except for um, except for Laramie Tunzel. But he's really good. I liked him in Florida, and the good thing with him is he can be a workhorse because he never was that guy in college. He always shared carries. He didn't really even start, honestly, when he was at Florida. So he has a lot of he has a lot of tread left on those tires.
Got you. Um, and then my last sleeper. He's not really a sleeper because he kind of stepped on the scene last year. I just expect another big year for him. I've been trying to trade for this guy in my other league. I'm not sure who has him in our league. 90 catches last year, 0 drops. Amon St. Brown for the Detroit Lions.
Amon Ra, love that young man.
Yeah, yeah. Who has him in our draft? I gotta look. I mean, in our league, I gotta look.
I don't know, but he's just another guy. I liked him when he was in high school. So he went to Mater Day, and he was the number one receiver recruit in the country. He's a USC guy. He's very tough, physical. He's not a burner, but he's really quick, and he just knows how to get open. I do think with him and DJ Chark this year, um, he has a real opportunity, especially in the slot. And now he has guys along with TJ Hawkinson, uh, to where like there won't be a lot of pressure on him. So I think that's a really good pick. I just, you know me, I just question Jared Goff a little bit.
I got you. Fantasy man, what's up with your team? You like your draft? You like who you got? You like your squad? I'm in
I
three.
mean, I'm a boomer bust guy, so
Gotcha. I'm in 3 drafts. 2 are money leagues. Um, I'm not gonna lie, brother. The other money league I'm in, I actually like my team a little better in that one than ours, the one I got. But I like my team in our league too. Who was your first round pick?
I took Jamar Chase.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think you took him right behind me because I went Jefferson. I think like a pick or
Yeah.
two for you. Yeah. I got Pierce on there, man. I got a Swift. I think Swift's gonna have a pretty decent year. Hopefully if he just stays injury free, running back for the Lions. And I got Joey B, man. You know I had to go get Joe Burrow in like the middle round somewhere.
I mean, I have Herbert as my guy. Somebody bitched out and they took Patrick Mahomes early, so I was
Yeah.
pissed about that. But it's fine. I have all the skill guys, so
I mean, I got
all of it.
I got 3 number 1 options at receiver, so I'm good, man. Cause I got my guy Jefferson, I got Scary Terry, averaging 1,300 yards, no matter who his quarterback is, and then I got Sutton, man. I don't know where the sudden disrespect is coming from. I've never said the guy is an elite receiver, but people are making it seem like I'm like who are y'all gonna have or who do y'all believe Russ gonna throw the ball to? Because a lot of people aren't high on Judy. Like, well, somebody has to catch the ball. I'm like, and it's definitely gonna be Sutton. And what I've heard so far coming out of camp is he's built a very good connection with Russell Wilson, man. And we all know Russ loves to throw the ball, especially deep. I got Sutton having a big season. The reason, and that's one of the main reasons I love my other fantasy team, brother. I got Sutton and Russ on the same team, bro.
So that's why I went in our group chat and I was defending him.
Yeah.
I love Corey. like, I'm sorry, like Drew Lock has talent, but he's not a very good decision maker. And at other points in his career, he's basically had me out there throwing it to him. Like just straight up, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, shit, since Peyton Manning left, they done had like 10, 12 different quarterbacks.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Like,
Yeah.
and that's why part of my thing with Jimmy G also is like I resent when people just say a guy is better because he's on a better team or like he's in a better situation. Like I push back on that. It's like no, you have to look at the individual player and like what he's doing. Um, I don't want to make it sound like I just like this that I like this that I'm just like dissing guys because they were fortunate enough to be on better teams or just be in better situations. But like when you look at a guy like Cortland Sutton, it's like there's not much that he can't do. Like some of these receivers that are being pumped up, and I don't want to say that they do not deserve it, but Cortland Sutton is definitely a guy to me that really deserves to be in that conversation. He's just been in dysfunction.
Yeah. And I
It's
told
like it's
somebody, sorry, brother. I told somebody though, for Russ, DK and Lockett, slightly better than to me as a duo talent wise, but mold and makeup wise, or at least how they complement each other, is very similar to Sutton and Judy to me. Is how I see it. Like I can see him using both guys the same way he used those guys. So that's the other reason why I'm like I can see them both going for 1,000. Like I got a bet with that Judy can get 1,000. Like why would y'all basically saying Russ is gonna have an off year? Like I don't see it.
so I'm not as high on the Broncos as other people are,
I'm
but it
not
won't be
neither. I'm not
because
neither as a team, but they're still in the highest scoring division to me. I feel like that
yeah,
division
like
points.
yeah, like it's not going to be because Russ is like not that guy anymore, and I'll just leave it there.
One I always laugh at the guy that drafts kicker or defenses. That draft defense at all, especially early. A
Yeah,
good kicker is cool, especially the top two or three is good. Good to have on your team. But a guy like me personally, I change my defense weekly, just depending on matchups. That's how I go. I was actually shocked that I was able to get the Eagles defense at the end of the draft. I drafted them, but I got DeAndre Swift in, so I put them on the bench, and I actually got the Broncos. I'm shocked that I was able to get the Broncos. They're playing Seattle. I was like, I don't know what y'all trade. I'm taking that.
yeah, I think that's going to be one of like 2 to 3 weeks that you can actually use the Broncos defense because as good as their secondary is, their front seven is just they're gonna have the
Don't like
problems that like the no, he's awesome, but I mean, if you play 3 games a year, like, what's the matter? And the rest of that front seven is pretty average at best.
I thought they got somebody on the other side of him.
Unless I actually miss some, I just don't like their front seven.
They got
Personally, I just don't.
they got Randy Gregory. That's who they want to get. I'm
No,
very
he's a good.
yeah, he's pretty solid. I'm very high on
Yeah,
Patrick Surtain too. I really like that kid. He grew on me even more.
I,
Yeah,
I told you,
yeah,
like he's the dude.
he a dude. Last little bit of talk for fantasy, and then I want to move to something else. Bench. What's up with your bench, man? Who some guys you like on your bench? Those late round picks, that bench fill up can win a championship.
Well, I'm about to give it away because no one's gonna take him. So he's a sleeper guy, and he's on a team that is dysfunctional, but because of their limited options, and he's a very freaky. He has very freaky ability. I do think he has a chance this year to at least put up numbers for fantasy at some point, and that's Velus Jones. Um, so Velus Jones was the Chicago Bears third round pick this year. He's a receiver from Tennessee, and unfortunately for him, at Tennessee, he was in dysfunction also. So people don't really know how like good he really is. But I think aside from Darnell Mooney, who teams are just at some point they're just gonna take him away. I think he's the one guy that I think, or the one guy at least right now, that could really step in and take pressure off of Mooney. Um, so he's a guy where it's like you kind of want to see it play out a little bit. I wouldn't like get him right now, but around that like week 4, week 5 mark, I think that's where you could see him start to like pop off and just each week just get better and better and better.
Got you. Yeah, I talked about just about. I already mentioned just about everybody on my bench so far in this podcast. One guy, like I said, I mentioned him earlier too, but James Cook, like I said, I believe he can step into
Okay.
RB1. So I definitely believe I got an RB1 sitting on the bench with him. I think he'll grow into that role. Let's see here. Let's move on. You got anything else for fantasy that you wanted to talk about?
Nah, that's basically it.
Cool.
Oh, well, Jameis. Jameis is one of those quarterbacks that I think can put up huge numbers. But that's it.
Jalen Hurts too. Jalen Hurts too. I think even though
Yeah.
I'm not big on him, and that's my quarterback, but I think he has potential to put up some crazy numbers if you include his legs. Um, let's move on here a little bit. Let's talk a little player props, man. You know, I'm big on betting, especially this season. I'm definitely big on betting. I would definitely advise everybody to use prize picks, especially in California, if you're big into betting player props. I got a few entries already put in for the season. I got a few season bets. I got a few week one bets. Um, let me read you a few of these bets. Did you download it yet? You need to download it, brother. I'm telling you, got some.
Yeah.
Yeah, got some low. Did you put any tickets in yet?
Not yet, but I think
Let me.
tomorrow I'm gonna
So let
start
me read you
cashing
this
in.
one I got for the season. Let me see if you're feeling this one. So I got a five leg, and the sweet part about prize picks is so you could bet two ways. You could bet a flex way or you could bet a power way. The flex play you can win even if a guy or two misses. You still get cashed out if three of your five hits or four of your five hits or a 5 out of 5 hit. Power play, you need everything to hit. You gotta put at least two on there, and you need everything to hit. It could be all two, or you can put three on there. Gotta be all three, but everything has to hit. And then you get, of course, a bigger payout. I got a flex play right here. I got Najee. I got Najee at 1,150 yards and a half. I took the over on that.
Yes, but I told you my concerns
With
just
the
from
offensive
the
line.
stage.
Yeah.
A, he's coming into the season hurt now, unfortunately. B, his offensive line is awful. And C, everybody knows they're gonna try it and pound him. I I just yes, that is a bet to take, but if he didn't do it, would it shock me? No.
Yeah.
But he's gonna do it. But
And I think with the added game, he's going to get it because he got that last year with a just as
well, if
just
he
as-
plays enough games, that's the other
yeah.
thing because he comes home and the season hurt.
I took Joe Mixon. I had to take Joe. I thought Joe's was
Oh
pretty.
yeah,
I know Joe
that's easy.
usually. I know Joe usually gets some receiving money as well. But I took Joe at 1,050 yards and a half.
Oh, that's easy.
That's what I thought. That's a good
I
one.
they have an improved offensive line. I do think they want to take pressure off of Joe, and you can't stack the box. Like you can't stack it
Gotcha.
with those three receivers that they got. Like you can't stack it. So yeah, I think he's easy 12 to 1,300 yards easy.
I'm telling you, folks, these are some steals, man. These are some real steals. Um,
Yeah.
DJ Moore, this is another one. I know you big on this guy, brother. Can you
Yes.
what they got his line at for the season?
What his line will be?
No, can you guess what they got his line at right now for receiving for the year?
I'm gonna say 1,100 yards.
Under. They got him at 1075 and a half.
Really?
I was like, I'm taking the over on that too. Easy money. Easy money. He's wide receiver one over there. That's easy. That's
Who the
easy.
hell Bay Baker gonna throw to?
Yeah.
Nah.
This guy, I definitely believe can get it with ease just off talent. I'm just not sold on this quarterback because he doesn't throw the ball downfield. Tyreek Hill. They got Ty Hill pretty low though. They got him at 1025 and a half. 1,000 yards and 1,000 yards and 25 and a half.
That's actually pretty solid because
Waddle and Gesicki.
J- yeah, and then I think a lot of his big plays will be considered run plays. Even if it is thrown to him, I think they'll be considered run plays. So That's actually pretty solid, honestly.
That is key to note, brother. Even for anybody that's voting, at least Tyreek passing numbers this year, receiving numbers this year. Keep in mind, I think he will be tried to be used like Debo from last year because Mike McDaniels was skimming up that run last year in San Francisco. He may try to give the ball a few more rushing touches for Tyreek Hill.
I mean, out of respect for him specifically, I'll say over, but I don't think it'll be by much. I think literally he'll be like a yard over that, honestly.
What you got? You got Waddle getting more yards, or you got them both getting just barely
I
1,000?
I think both will just be over 1,000 barely, maybe. And it's hard for me to even say both, honestly. I mean, they're both good enough to, but I just think the way that they'll be used this year, you'll see more rushing yards than you would think. You also have Gesicki if he's still there throughout the entire season. Um, but this is going to be a run-based football team. Oh, I guess this is kind of going back to like fantasy a little bit, but it's like Brandon Ayuk for the 49ers. Brandon Ayuk is a dude who has elite talent, but because of his situation in like SF, he hasn't like his like production doesn't reflect what his talent is.
But he get money
And
regardless who at quarterback.
yeah, no, but
In
like his
contrast,
overall production should be like
yeah, his
1,200
I,
yards receiving. So like that's what I think Miami's gonna kind of
I think his is
be.
pretty low. I think they got IU got like 7 something, maybe 800. But
I mean that sounds about right, honestly.
yeah, no, I got him.
And it's
So
not him. Like it's just
rookie, he's not getting a bunch of catches neither year. But his rookie year, he had like 700 yards, and then last year he had like 800 and something yards with less catches. So he's right in between there, 900 yard mark. He's somewhere in between there. This last guy for the season ticket I got, I think he's a lot, and he doesn't even always play every game. He doesn't need to because it doesn't matter who his quarterback is. I got Scary Terry over 1,500,
it's 1,500.
bro.
Really?
I'll show you this shit. No, I ain't gonna show.
Like
It's not gonna show.
even though Washington has other weapons that are under the radar, no, until he loses a step of speed, he's 1,200 yards a year easy. Like like easily, unless I'm throwing him the ball, he's 1,200 yards easy.
That's what I said, man. I'm like, yeah, that was an easy one. We know Carson loves to throw the ball deep. Let me see.
Yeah.
I got two other ones. A power play one. Another thing, people get on Prize Picks right now. They got a super discount on Tom Brady. You can put him on any ticket. He just needs to throw for 1 yard. It's at .5 right now. Super discounted for his passing yards for week one. This is a week one ticket that I got, brother. A power play, so I need all three to hit. Tell me how you feel about it. I got the discounted time. It's a three people power play. I got the discounted time. I got Kyler Murray and Jameis Winston both passing touchdowns at 1.5. Kyler's playing Kansas City. Jameis is playing Atlanta. I feel like those are usually shootouts in that conference with Atlanta and New Orleans. And I think they
Jameis, yes. Kyler, that one's actually kind of sneaky where
he might
I
rush
would
for
kind of
one.
bet. Yeah, I would kind of bet the under.
I think he could get two, bro. I think he could throw two tuggies.
I so I know how big you are on Honey Badger, but Reed is an upgrade for that team and what they do, and their secondary is revamped, and their front seven is real.
Who they
I think
Reed? Oh, they got his little brother,
yeah,
Justin Reed. He cool.
yeah,
He all right. He got hurt last year though, didn't he? He got hurt like the year before.
yeah, but he was also with the Texans, so
Yeah, I gotta see
Just
it.
watch.
I like them
Just
coming out. I
watch.
like him coming out the draft. I gotta see it. I gotta see it because he was with the Texans, like you said. I didn't see much.
But yeah, I think now with DeAndre Hopkins being out, AJ Green's still a good player, but not what he was. And that Hollywood Brown thing, which I definitely missed. I do think Kyler's gonna have a long day
Got you.
with
Okay,
that Chiefs front seven coming at him.
we'll see. You real high on that Chiefs defense. I haven't
Oh
seen
yeah.
defense this whole Patrick Mahomes run, but I guess we'll see. You saying two rookies are turning around? We'll see. Um, another power play I got here. I might have to mix and match a few of these. Because now I'm seeing some stuff I like and don't like. But this is why I'm talking to you. This is another power play I got. Four people. I got Tom at that discounted rate again. Just needs to throw for 1 yard. I got Najee at 63.5 versus Cincy for just rushing. That's one of the ones I'm iffy on just because I know Cincy, damn near their best unit on defense is damn near their D line. They're pretty good up front. Um, but I still believe just because of volume, he'll be able to get 64, 65 yards. Cam Akers is another one I'm iffy on, just because I'm not sure if he'll get the snaps, but I think he will. I'm hearing right now he's RB1. Cam Akers rushing and receiving 58.5 combined. He just needs to go for 58.5. I was like, I think he can get that. That's pretty low.
Yeah, I'll take the over.
And then the last one, I think this is also pretty steal. Pass, rushing, or receiving touchdown combined, 2.5 for Josh Allen. I think he can get three. I think he can get three.
But they said two?
They got it at 2.5, so they're saying he got to get three touchdowns or more. Total touchdowns.
That's easy.
Come on, man. Come on. Easy.
Yeah, that's yeah, now that's stealing.
So this one, you might actually like this one. This is my last one. This is my last one, and this is a five. This is a five flex one. Actually put this one in a few weeks ago. Uh, all quarterbacks, brother. Week one for the passing totals. Let's see if you rocking with them. All right. I took the over. I think on all of these too. I'm iffy on this one with Josh Allen. I still think he can do it, but he gets some rushing yards. But they got Josh Allen at 275 yards and a half. I took the over.
I think he goes for opening night to probably 285.
I was just gonna say that like
So
two.
yeah, I'm with that.
This one I'm a little iffy on. I'm more iffy on it now because I put after seeing preseason. Fuck man, and they like to run the ball, but 230 is not that many yards. I don't know. To me, Mac Jones 230.5
I'm
versus
taking the under.
Miami taking the
I'm
under.
taking the under.
I don't
I
feel
have
like
not.
230 is a
I have
lot.
nothing against. I have nothing against Mac. I have zero faith in what the Patriots are doing,
I got
and
you.
it's not about him.
I got you. I got you. Trevor Lawrence. I took Trev. Even though he's facing a pretty decent front, I took Trev 235.5 yards. He's playing Washington.
Over.
That's what I thought.
I think he throws for 265.
Carson. I took Carson versus Jacksonville for 215. I thought that was pretty low. I went over.
Oh. The only reason I would hesitate is because I don't like Washington's offensive line. And with Carson, with an iffy offensive line, that's when he kind of folds a little bit and he tries to do too much. But 215 is low, and people just don't appreciate his talent. I understand his results are kind of a mixed bag at times, but 215 for him, that's easy.
Yeah. And then my last one, brother, is my guy, Jalen Hurts, for passing 220.5 versus the Lions in week one. I'm like, man, it's the Lions. We got all these goddamn new weapons. Sirianni at his core likes to throw the ball, even though we led the league in rushing last year. We like to throw the ball. I think he can get that versus the Lions. What you think?
I'll go barely.
Barely. Or
Like
like a
when
two
I say barely, I mean like
30.
224.
I got you. I got you.
Because the Lions are a bit better than what people think. But yeah, I think 224 will be what he says.
Got you. Let's wrap
That's the
up
one
here.
that can fuck you over.
You good? You got anything else on that, brother? We got two last topics right here, and we're gonna wrap up.
No, that's it.
Last two then. Let's talk Buffalo. Matter of fact, before we get there, because by the time we drop this, it will be a Thursday night football game to kick off the football season. Rams and Buffalo. But before we dive into that, high school player of the week and coach of the week. Something new we wanted to do this season, just to show a little love to the young Bulls. I know I went to the Mac versus Bellarmine game. So I had to go with the young bull that I seen from Mac, a running back, Javian Thomas, I believe is his first name. Javian Thomas, the running back from Mac, number 21. A bullet, man. The kid is fast as hell. I believe he had like 120, 150 yards, somewhere in between there, two touchdowns, and a pick and a forced fumble or a fumble recovery. And I remember early on in the game, I seen him take the ball, come around the corner, outrun angles, outrun everybody, score like a 60-yard run. And I look over to Maine, brother, Jermaine. I was like, hey, I wonder if, man was juicing him up, talking about he's a pretty good player. I'm like, man, if he really like that, he'll go both ways. Man, I know the next thing I know, I look up, the young bull got a pick going back the other way. I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, you're thoroughbred, man. So yeah, I believe he also got an Oregon offer too. So I got Javian Thomas as my player of the week, high school player of the week.
Okay, I respect it. Um, Honestly, I forget this young man's name, so I'm gonna say sorry in advance. But Sarah's quarterback, dude, he's really good. And that was an interesting game. Getting was they were down 14 with like under like 9 minutes left or something like that. Actually, it was what, like under like five minutes left,
Yeah,
and
that
they
game.
come
Did it go
back and
OT?
win. It was crazy.
Did it go OT?
No,
No. Okay.
no, they had a crazy turnover at the end, and they kicked the game-winning field goal.
Yeah.
Um, but he had this one play where he stepped up in the pocket and he looked like he was gonna run, but he was side pedaling and he threw it kind of like a sidearm.
Mm.
It was nice,
So he
dude.
had he still had his eyes downfield. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, so he definitely watches these guys that are playing now. I think he has about 6 to 8 offers. Um, and without him, they have zero chance to win that game because you already know this with De La. If you can't pass or if you're one dimensional, you can't beat them.
Well, we both got the same coach of the week. So I'll let you go ahead and do the coach of the week.
I mean, for me, it's Sarah.
Yeah, we got the.
Again,
Go ahead.
yeah, like for you to beat your alma mater because he played for Dela in the '90s, and
Mm.
he was a part of those teams
Patrick
that had
Wall.
like 100. Yeah, he had like 100, that 100+ game winning streak or like whatever. For you to do that in your first time, and like it's Sarah's first time in their history ever beating them, and you go to Dela and you beat them. I don't know how you don't get that, man. That was special.
Do you remember the quarterback's number? Was it 5?
One second. I think I can find it. Give me one second.
I mean, I
But
got the
but
roster.
you can say your part really quick. Hold on.
Oh, okay, all good. No, yeah, I had Coach Patrick Walsh as well for Coach of the Week. Sorry, we'll have this a little tight, a little more tighter and cleaned up for next week. But yeah, this is definitely something we wanted to do moving forward for the high school season. Just cover a little more high school sports. But
Oh,
definitely
he's no number 7.
definitely want to tip our hat to Coach Wash and his team for being De La Salle. And the quarterback is I definitely don't want to say his name. I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah, I know.
If he's a
His
quarterback,
last name's
yeah, he's a junior. He's 6'4", he's 200 pounds. So yeah, M. Smith. I don't want to say the young man's first name and mess it up, but good game, young man. Good way to beat De La.
Yeah,
uh,
you have to watch that play. Like, if
I'm
you
not,
watch it, you'll be like,
it was on ESPN. I wonder if I can
damn.
say that
Oh
because it was
yeah,
on
oh yeah,
ESPNU. It's on. Can you rewatch that on ESPNU?
yeah.
I'm gonna rewatch it. Because I got ESPN Plus. I'm gonna go rewatch that. Let's end it off here, man. Pretty long pod, but it's a lot to talk about. Football season is underway. Let's finish it off here, just because we'll be dropping this pod before Thursday night football game, first game of the year. Buffalo Bills versus the Rams. Who you got, brother?
I got the Bills 30-21.
I like that. I'll take the Bills. I got the Bills too. I'm gonna go 31-28.
I just think the Rams are gonna have a bit of a hangover this year, and the Bills are like the Chiefs. They played guys. They want to hit the ground running because they know that home field is going to be important for them this year. They don't want to go back to Arrowhead this year. So I do think that's why they were playing guys so they can be sharp. And I think it'll be a close game. Um, but in the end, I do think Josh Allen will just make a few plays that are just crazy that'll seal it for them.
Yeah, definitely feel like Josh Allen and the company is going to win. Just feel like they got something to prove. The way they exited out the playoffs, I feel like Gabe Davis will take that next step as well as a wide receiver too. The defense is coming back a little healthy. I think they started. I believe I seen something. Trey White starting the season up. He's starting the season off on pup or on the
Yeah.
IR on the pup list, I believe. So he may miss the first couple games. Um, yeah. So we got the same pick, man. We're going Buffalo. I believe with Jalen Ramsey and Matthew Stafford both having off-season surgery. Um, Jalen's shoulder, I believe, and then Stafford's elbow has been messing with him. And just that Super Bowl hangover. I'm going with the Bills, man. You got anything else on this game? Because I want to end it. I want to end with a few player props for this game.
Nothing for the game specifically, but J Ram's interesting. I kind of after rewatching some of those playoff games, I'm kind of regretting ranking him too. I kind of chickened out. I wanted to rate him a little lower, but I chickened out a little bit. I think I don't know if he's the same guy. So this year will be very telling, I think, for him.
Got you. Let me read you this quick little bet slip I got, man, for a couple of player props for this game. I didn't like the prize pick props for this specific game, so I went over to FanDuel. It's not legal here in California, so you might have to hit up your folks in AZ or Vegas, wherever you got folks at, where it's legal at. Colorado, I believe. It should be legal here in California pretty soon, FanDuel. But I sent it out to my brother out there in AZ. This is what I got for this game that I'm putting together right now that I'm looking at. If you put down $25, you can win $387. I got the Bills. It's a six leg parlay slip. I got the Bills spread 2.5. I got Cooper Cup anytime touchdown score. I got Cam Akers over 43.5 rushing yards. I got Cooper Cup 40 plus receiving yards. I got Stephon Diggs 50 plus receiving yards, and I got Gabriel Davis 40 plus receiving yards.
Wow, really?
So that's one of the sweet parts about FanDuel. You can set their numbers.
Oh,
Yeah, they also
I was
got
about
it
to
where it's
say,
set. They also
really?
got it where it's set, and they also got it where you can set it. And I set it.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So that's what I got. Those six right there, and if you put down 25, you can win 387. I feel pretty comfortable about all of them. The only one I'm kind of iffy on is if Cup will score. He should have the volume or the action at
Okay.
scoring. Yeah, and then Akers with the rushing yards, but everything else I'm very comfortable with on this ticket.
Oh yeah. Surprisingly, I do think Cup will score, but that is the one where it's like, because Sean, he likes to go out of his way to get like the newer guys featured. So I think it'll kind of be like when like Odell first got there, how in like the red zone, he's gonna go to Allen Robinson. Uh, so we'll see, but I do think Cup will score at least one touchdown in this game. So.
Brother, shoot, I need it. Anything else, man? I think we covered a lot, man. We covered a lot, right?
Oh yeah, we definitely did. That's pretty much it. I'm definitely looking forward to talking about Trey Lance because like I was telling you last week, man, and the week before probably, I'm very interested to see how this season plays out for him.
Me too, man. Me too. Hey, please like and subscribe on YouTube to the YouTube page. Follow us at the 510H on Twitter, the 510 Huddle on Instagram. Next week we'll have my guy, special guest Eric Crocker, former pro football player, and now he big Niner fan, and he writes and covers for the Niners. And he actually pods for the Niner. He does podcasting, not right. But definitely we'll have him on next week. We'll talk a little bit about Trey Lance, the San Francisco Niners, their preseason, their training camp, and the outlook that he has for his team this year. I think that's about it. Anything else, brother, or are you good to go?
I'm good to go.
All right, go get you some sleep, man.
We play for keeps, Cuddy. You ain't heard about the huddle fire with no with D-Lane. We tryna get it off the muscle. Walters caught the pick and ran it back without a tussle. Blow the whistle, coach is trying to get back to the huddle.